Hi, I'm David Villa. I'm a lawyer here at Ruane Attorneys. So I grew up here in Connecticut, grew up here in Bridgeport for a time. I went to Reed Middle School, Park City Magnet. I got into a couple fights there. My parents moved me to we're here at the bottom of Route 8. They moved me to the top of Route 8, Winstead, and went to high school up there before going off to the military. So my job in the Army was 13 Fox. That's a forward observer. The recruiter kind of pitched it to me, and I said, well, I'm nowhere near the infantry, right? And he, in a true recruiter fashion, promised me I was nowhere near the infantry. I get to my duty station, get to Fort Bragg, and they're like, no, you live in the grunt platoon. Anytime you've seen a movie where there's a guy kind of yelling coordinates into a radio, that's an FO, that's a forward observer. He lives with the infantry platoon and directs indirect fire support assets, mortars, field artillery, close air support. That's his function in the infantry platoon. So that was my first job there. Subsequent to that, I just finished the JAG course. I'm now a lawyer for the Army. So I've had kind of a sorted pass in the military, done a bunch of different things. I'm a double Husky. I went to UConn undergraduate, I went to UConn Law School through the benefit of the military. Got a free ride to both, otherwise I wouldn't be a lawyer here. I'm grateful for that, but my wife took a job up in Maine. I followed her up there. First job out of law school as a prosecutor. I was in the mid-coast of Maine, trying cases from fishing without a license all the way up to attempted murder. Had worked for a great DA, progressive, believed in restorative justice, and kind of preached that to us. Relocated back to Connecticut with my wife, and looking to do criminal work. Had a great interview with Ruane. Got asked some really the quintessential defense attorney questions. How are you going to deal with getting your teeth kicked in most of the time? I think I answered, I'm going to get up and keep swinging. I think I've been a defense attorney my whole life, really. I'm a bit of I don't know, troublemaker. I've been talking back my whole life, asking why, questioning. I distinctly remember being really young and I had a teacher scolding me, and she's like, yeah, you think you have an answer for everything, Mr. Villa? And I thought, well, why were you asking me questions if you didn't want an answer? In retrospect, she was kind of frustrated that I had an answer ready for her. But I've been questioning authority, been asking why, or the other piece of being a defense attorney is that you're kind of sticking up for people against the bully. There's no bigger bully than the state. They've got an enormous amount of power. So I've drawn to criminal law. I was always going to be a criminal lawyer. Did some prosecution, but sticking up for people, double checking the work of law enforcement, making sure they're following all the rules before they try to enforce rules against people. I think it's pretty natural in my personality. I think I've been a defense attorney my whole life, really. You fail or succeed with your team, which is tough being a lawyer because it's kind of lonely being a lawyer sometimes. But here at Ruane, I feel like I'm a member of a team, working with other attorneys, working with the partners. I'm in my boss's office, who's right next to mine, almost every day, jumping up and down, complaining, or asking his opinion about different issues and cases. So in the military, grit, cannot give up, keep fighting, even when the chips are down. Don't give in, don't give up. And also a team environment, which is hard to find a team environment as a lawyer, but here in this firm, I think that exists. Kind of other culture of the firm. What do you say to people who say, how can you defend those people? People like to clutch their pearls and pretend there's some other class of criminals, but I see all kinds of people, every walk of life, as clients, and it's only when someone finds himself in the clutches of the state with a criminal charge that they say, oh, this can happen to anyone. Defend those people. They're all of us. Sticking up for people wherever they are. That's the beauty of being a defense attorney.